Hey everyone. So, what I wanted to start off with today, and I'm doing this in person as well, is just recapping what we learned about standard form. And so, how we're going to do that is I looked at the Quizizz game that you guys played last week, and I sorted it by the most commonly missed questions, and we're just going to go over a few of those. And as we do it, I will remind you of how to find the axis of symmetry, how to find a vertex, how to find a y-intercept, and also how to identify the correct graph. So let's start with this one. This one was the one that by far most of you got wrong. So the first thing that you want to do, well, it says graph the quadratic. Remember to find the vertex, identify the y-intercept, and any other points on the parabola. So let's just recall first what standard form even is. So I'm just going to come off to the side for a second. So remember that standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Remember that we learned that c is your y-intercept, where the graph hits the y-axis. And then you use your a and your b to find the axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry is x equals negative b over 2a. The axis of symmetry is also, it's the same as the x coordinate of the vertex. So that's usually what we find first. Then typically, once you have the x coordinate of the vertex or the axis of symmetry, you plug it in to find the y coordinate of the vertex, and then you have your full complete vertex. So something like this first example, when it says to graph the quadratic, you don't technically have to find everything for some of them. So let's take a look to see what we can do. We can first identify that the y-intercept is 5 here. Do you guys see how this plus 5, that's C, that means your y-intercept is 5. So that can eliminate some of them, right? So if we take a look at D, the y-intercept is 5. B, the y-intercept is 5. A, I can tell 5 is right here. And so even though it's not, we don't know the y-intercept, we know that it's not going to be 5. So that can eliminate A. Same thing with C, 5 is right here. So that can eliminate C as well. Next, let's take a look at the difference between these. So I noticed that B has an axis of symmetry at x equals 2. And I noticed D has an axis of symmetry at negative 2. So what we can do is we can just find the axis of symmetry, and that will narrow it down. So I think maybe a lot of you probably just guessed on this. That's my guess, is that you guessed. But let's figure out how we can actually solve this. So in order to find the axis of symmetry, we need negative b over 2a. So to do that, we need to identify a, b, and c. So a is 1. Remember, a is just whatever's in front of the x squared term. B is negative 4. So we're going to take negative 4 and 1, and we're going to plug it into negative b over 2a. So we have x equals negative b over 2a. So negative b, well, b is negative 4. You do need both negatives. Over 2a, a is 1. So this is negative 4 is really positive 4. And then 2 times 1 is 2. So therefore, my axis of symmetry is positive 2. X equals positive 2. So we really technically don't even need to find the vertex, because this is the one that has, an axis of symmetry at positive 2. So that is the answer. That was supposed to be the answer for this one. This was number 13. Okay, so actually what you're doing today for your assignment is something sort of similar to this, except I have you find all the information: axis of symmetry, vertex, y-intercept, does it open up or does it open down? Which, let me actually talk about that real quick. So to determine if it opens up or opens down, remember you look at the sign of A. See how this one was positive in the front? So that means it's going to open up, which obviously all 4 of these options opened up. But if you had one where half were up and half were down, that's another way you could eliminate certain graphs. All right, so that was supposed to be B. let's look at the next one. It says, what is the equation for the axis of symmetry? So remember, axis of symmetry we just talked about is x equals negative b over 2a. So I'm going to abbreviate axis of symmetry, AOS, is x equals negative b over 2a. So what we have to do is identify a, b, and c. So a is 1, b is 6. So that's a, b is 6. We don't need it for this one, but c is 4. Usually I have you identify all 3 of them. So now we're just going to take b and a. We're going to plug it into negative b over 2a. So negative b, b is positive 6. So it's going to be negative 6 over 2 times 1, which is negative 6 over 2. Negative 6 over 2 is negative 3. So it ends up being x equals negative 3. Now, some of you chose this one. Remember that it wants the equation for the axis of symmetry, which has to be x equals negative 3. So this actually would be the answer. Actually, surprisingly, a lot of you chose this one. X equals positive 3. You must have just forgotten to put negative b over 2a. I'm not really sure, but it wasn't that one. It's not that one. This one's close, but we need the x equals. So it's not that one either. This is the answer. So that was number 9. That was the second most missed question on the Quizizz. Here's another one. So actually, this is the same equation. Let's go back up here. See how this is the same equation? I purposely did that. So we just found, I'm not going to do the work again to find x equals negative 3. But remember, to find the coordinates of the vertex, you first have to find the x coordinate by doing negative b over 2a. And then you take that x coordinate and plug it in to find the y coordinate. So we just found in this work right up here that x was equal to negative 3. So now I'm going to take negative 3 and plug it in for x here and here. So I have y equals x squared. So negative 3 squared plus 6 times negative 3 plus 4. We can do exponents first. Negative 3 squared. That's negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. And we'll keep going. 9 minus 18 is negative 9. Negative 9 plus 4 is negative 5. So that means our vertex is negative 3, comma, negative 5. You take those two numbers, put them together for your ordered pair. So that's number 10. Another one, I think this is the last one. Nope, one more. Another one is another graph one. Here's another graph one. So notice that what pops out to me is that this is positive in the front. A is positive 3, which means that it opens up because A is positive. So notice that A, B, and C all open up. D opens down, so I know that it's not D. So now that brings me to, how about the y-intercept? The y-intercept is 13. So let's see any that could have a y-intercept of 13. Well, I notice A has a y-intercept of 6. So it's not that one. And then B and D, so B and C rather. B looks like it does probably hit right at 13. D, it doesn't show that much. So C, I meant C, I think I said D. C is hard to tell because it doesn't show the y-intercept, and we're not at 13 on this graph. So these two are two contenders. So again, to figure out which one it is, we can find the axis of symmetry and compare. Notice that in C, the axis of symmetry is positive 3. X equals positive 3. And on B, it's x equals negative 2. That's actually negative 2 because the scales, see how it skips to negative 4 here. So let's find A, B, and C and plug it in and then find the axis of symmetry. So A, we already said, was positive 3 and B is 12. Yes, technically C is 13, but we don't really need that for axis of symmetry because remember, axis of symmetry is x equals negative b over 2a. So we're going to have x equals negative b, so b is 12, so it's going to be negative 12 over 2 times a. A is 3. So that's going to be negative 12 over 6, which is negative 2. So x equals negative 2 is my axis of symmetry. This C had an axis of symmetry of positive 3, so it's not that one. Notice this one is at negative 2, so B was your answer for this one. So you did have to do a little bit of work for these matching. And today, your assignment, you're going to find all of them. I have a spot for axis of symmetry, vertex, and all of that. Okay. Here's number 7. What is the vertex? So let me zoom out a little bit. We're going to find the vertex from start to finish. So to find the vertex, to find the x-coordinate of the vertex, we do negative b over 2a, which is also the axis of symmetry. It's the same number. So let's identify a, b, and c. A is 1, b is negative 4, and c is 12, which we don't quite need right here because it didn't ask for it. But if it asked for the y-intercept, it would be 12. Okay, so now I'm going to take negative b over 2a. I'm going to plug in b and a. So negative b is negative 4. So it's going to be negative 4, 2 negatives, times 2 times a is 1. So now let's simplify. When you have negative 4, double negative, that becomes positive 4. And then 2 times 1 is 2. And then keep going. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So x equals 2 is our axis of symmetry. It's also the x-coordinate of our vertex. So my answer is going to be 2 comma something. So see how that eliminates this one and this one? The next thing that we do is we take that x equals 2 and we plug it in. So we're going to take 2 and plug it in anywhere we see an x, here and here. So let's do that. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more so we can see the whole thing. So we're going to have y equals 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 12. So now that I've plugged it in, now we have to simplify, solve for y. So we're going to do exponents first. So 2 squared is 4, 2 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. And now we add, subtract from left to right. So positive 4 minus 8 is negative 4. I was thinking ahead to the answer. And then plus 12, negative 4 plus 12 is positive 8. So that means that our vertex is 2, comma 8, because this is our y value. So if we come back up here, as you can see, this right here was the answer, 2, 8. So that's how you find the vertex. Again, the y-intercept is whatever your c is. So in this example, it's this. And then to determine if it opens up or down, you look at the sign of the leading coefficient. So this is positive. So that means that this one opens up, versus if it was negative, it would open down. And so that's how you would answer the ones from today's practice. If you have any questions at some point today, you can try to email me and we can try to get back to you as fast as we can. But I will have classes all day, so I'll do my best. We'll try to check in with you guys like during our class period. So if it's during our class period, that might be best. And then tomorrow when we meet, we're going to do a little bit more of this, answer questions, and then we're going to do some applications of it. So that's that. Let me know if you have questions and have a great day.